Just in case you don't hear me in the wind outside. Long exposures. Okay guys, so it's been a while since I've done this. I'm basically in the middle of storm, I think it's George or Jeffrey or something. It's been windy, so I apologise if there's some audio issues, but I've come up onto the moors, Denby Moors, to one of our many reservoirs, and I'm going to try out some long exposure work using ND filters, which I've not actually done in quite a while. And yeah, I'll talk you through the process and see what we get really. Let's get to it. So I've lined up a shot. I'm using the 85mm lens, which is f1.8 lens, so I can get that slightly tighter composition, so I can see a bit of detail in the shot, but it's not a grand vista of a shot. Now, if I wanted to, say with like the classic long exposure shot on the waterfall, if I wanted to get that nice silky smooth look to it, even if this lens goes down to f16, it's quite an old lens, but even if I drop down to f16, the longest exposure I could get is 1/4 of a second, which gives you some of that smooth look, but still we want to get a lot more in here. So that is where filters come in, bearing in mind that if I change the aperture to f16, that's going to give it a really broad depth of field as well. Whereas having an f1.8 lens, very often the idea of having such a wide lens is to shoot at wide apertures, which means you get that shallow depth of field. Just starting to rain. So I'll show up on the screen now. This is a few of my just test shots. None of these are using filters, this is just changing the aperture and shutter speed respectively. And as you can see in the wide aperture shot, it's fairly dull day, there's not a lot of light, but you can still see that sort of action of the moving water. Whereas drop it down to f8 and then f16, you can see it getting smoother. So this is where filters come in. I'm going to be using a 6-stop ND filter, which means it'll drop the light value by 6 stops, which also means that we can still use the wide aperture of the lens while getting the slower shutter speed. So let's have a look now. So what we're doing here, I use the Formatt-Hitech Firecrest system, which actually comes with a circular polarizer in the kit. Then got this holder which slots over that, So I'm using here the 6-stop ND, as I mentioned. Let's get that on top of there. Whoop. Carefully. Click it into place. So, what we're going to try now, open that up a bit. I'm going to change the exposure back from f16 right open to 1.8. And that already is giving me exposure of 1/5 of a second. So let's try that out. I've not changed the focus or anything here. And you can see already how much smoother that water looks. And you got that lovely shallow depth of field against the gorse bushes that I've got in the foreground here. So that's already looking really good. I'm going to try a few more at different apertures. So I'm going to knock it down to f2.8, which should give me a half-second exposure. Let's try that. I like that one already. And then we are going to knock it down to f8 just to see what that gives us. On the screen it's saying 3 seconds, but the meters with these filters in place can be a little bit off at times, but I'm sure we can adjust that in Lightroom afterwards. That looks great, I think. So, it's starting to rain, and it's going to be rush hour traffic anytime soon, so I'm going to get going. I'll see you back at home. Ta. Okay guys, so it's actually a few days later. I'm actually in work at the moment as well, so just don't tell anyone. But looking back at these images now, you'll see there's 6 photos. The first 3 were without a filter, and the second 3 were with the filter. So with the first 3, I started at f1.8, and then an f8 shot, and then an f16 shot. At f16 we got that nice smooth look to the water, but the depth of field is huge, so most of the gorse bushes in the foreground are actually in focus as well. But then if we go into the filter shots, the f1.8 shot, even though it's a little bit out of focus, that was my bad, I should have refocused. We've got that lovely shallow depth of field with all the gorse bushes out of focus in the foreground, but we've still got that lovely smooth look to the water. And then again, as we move on to the f8 and then f16 shots, you'll see that depth of field getting wider again, with more of the bushes getting in focus. So that really is where ND filters come into it. It'll remove some of that light and allow you to keep your depth of field while also lengthening your exposure. So I'm going to wrap this up. As always, thank you very much for watching. I've actually got some very exciting new gear to announce to you, possibly in the next video. Yeah, hope that this was of use to you. So I hope that you've taken something away from this video, hope that it's been informative to you, and yeah, hit subscribe to see more, and hit the little bell as well to be notified when I release new videos. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.